I'm Tommy Pike, owner of Tommy Pike Customs here in Greenville, South Carolina. We don't give up on old rides. We do what it takes to bring them back to life. Let there be light. There's no rules. And if there were, we'd probably break them. It's go time.
The new series, Custom Carolina, Wednesdays 8:30 on Turbo.
Hello, I'm Rex Litter with the Midday News Update. Mission Aviation Fellowship and remote health workers of Fiag Village in West Sepik have made it known through their experience that women in remote areas of the country are dying from childbirth because there is a lack of access and resources to get to health centers in time, according to the World Health Organization report of 2019. For every 1,000 births in Papua New Guinea, as many as 9 mothers and 24 newborn babies die. According to World Health Organization, PNG has the highest rate of maternal newborn mortality in the Western Pacific region. With no proper road access and safe airstrips, the only way to reach health services was the perilous boat journey. Recently, the people of Fiag celebrated when a MAF plane made its first official landing on the Fiag airstrip, which had been rebuilt by the community with training and equipment provided by the Rural Airstrip Agency. Now with the rebuilt airstrip, women can now travel quickly to deliver babies safely. The Waigani Communal Court on Wednesday, 21st February, committed an accused charged with forgery to stand trial at the National Court. Presiding Magistrate Danny Wakikura committed Jennifer Rex to be tried at the National Court on 11th March 2024 after the court found sufficient evidence against her. Rex was charged for obtaining money by false pretense and forgery under Section 462 to 461 and uttering under Section 463 to 462 of the Criminal Code Act. It was alleged that the accused had lodged falsified documents to the Corona and MVIL to obtain monies from her late husband's savings. The court found sufficient evidence that she obtained more than 3 million kina. More on this story at 6 p.m. The New Ireland Provincial Executive Council has commanded the apprehension of the driver responsible for the collapse of the Uaim Bridge on January 14th. Works Manager Colin Dixon highlighted the urgency during the Provincial Implementation Committee meeting, urging swift action. Namatanai Building and Civil Limited have been tasked with constructing a new bridge with Dixon warning of legal consequences for negligence. David Carroll has committed to procuring a replacement bridge, while a temporary log bridge ensuring continued road access. The PEC also addressed the need for standardized bridge construction policies and discussed terminating underperforming contractors. Governor Sir Julius Chen stressed tapping into national funding programs like Connect PNG to expedite vital road projects, emphasizing the importance of maritime connectivity in New Ireland. In regional news, Australia's E-Safety Commission says it's relieving complaints about school students using artificial intelligence to create pornographic images of their peers without their consent. Experts are warning not enough is being done to educate young people about the dangers of using the technology to create explicit content.
Noelle Martin was a teenager when she was targeted by online predators.
I saw dozens upon dozens of images of me that had been taken and doctored into fake pornography and plastered all over the internet.
Ms. Martin is now a lawyer and victims advocate. Her abuse predated instant and sophisticated artificial intelligence. She fears new technologies are making things even worse for young people today.
It affects your employability, your interpersonal relationships, your emotional and physical health.
Cherry lips, crystal sky.
Global pop icon Taylor Swift spoke out in January after fake, obscene images of her spread across the web. It's just one example of the explosion in deepfake technology, some using AI to create explicit images without the subject's consent. Australia's E-Safety Commission has started receiving complaints about school students using it on their peers, and experts say more cases are likely.
Young people are the early adopters. The more that these tools are available, they present engaging in this behaviour as if it was completely fine. That is normalising a behaviour that is not only criminal but is harmful to victims.
It's creating other problems too. The Australian Federal Police says the proliferation of AI-generated child abuse material is taking vital resources away from helping children in danger.
It's sometimes difficult to discern fact from fiction, and therefore, we can potentially be wasting resources looking at images that don't actually contain real child victims.
Professor Powell says, to get ahead of the problem, parents and schools need to teach students to be better digital citizens.
Really what these tools are doing is two things. They're reflecting back to us the sexism, the disrespect, the harassment, the inequality that already exists out there in our communities, but they're also amplifying it.
Lingering problems with modern challenges.
Darwin's Chinese community has hosted a series of free workshops sharing their culture, history and language as part of Lunar New Year celebration, creating the opportunity for Territorians to try their hand calligraphy, Tai Chi and traditional Chinese music.
Charles Darwin University's Confucius Institute hosting a series of free workshops to mark Chinese New Year.
The idea of holding this event here is that instead of doing this cultural presentation, languages in schools and at CDU University, we want to go to a wider community.
From painting to a traditional tea ceremony. And of course, Mahjong. The day hoped to help foster engagement with Chinese cultural practices.
This is what we want to introduce to our community, so wish everybody healthy, happy and enjoying life.
Participants here today have embraced the cultural activities on offer, including learning about Tai Chi and Chinese music, including bone flute playing.
Yeah, it's way more difficult than I imagined actually. It's really interesting and then I want to introduce it to my children.
Charles Darwin University partners with Hainan University in China. Representatives making the long journey to Darwin to help host today's event.
I think people need to communicate more, especially between China and Australia. It's a good opportunity for Chinese students and Australian students to see what is going on in the two countries, what the cultures are.
A helping hand guiding a stronger relationship into the future.
Hundreds of firefighters are racing against the clock to suppress a major bushfire northwest of Balarat, ahead of dangerous fire conditions on Wednesday.
Where I am in Buanga, the firefight is still very much underway. More than 550 firefighters from across the state are uniting to try and get the upper hand on this blaze, which has so far burned through more than 19,500 hectares of land, including where you can see behind me that blackened land there. And sadly, 6 homes have been lost since last Thursday. Now, this fire has presented a great challenge for firefighters across the state. It comes just a week after those devastating fires in the northern Grampians region, which destroyed properties in the town of Pomonal. But in terms of this firefight at the moment, milder conditions today have presented favourable conditions for firefighters. It is a lot cooler. We've even seen a bit of a sprinkle of rain in the last couple of hours or so, but it really is a race against time because it is Wednesday that firefighters and authorities are warning could present extreme to potentially catastrophic conditions for 6 of the 9 fire districts across Victoria. So firefighters will be working around the clock from today. They worked yesterday as well, but throughout the day to bolster those containment lines and suppress the fires. But the authorities have warned that there might not be enough time before Wednesday to really get the upper hand, and as a result, communities have been preparing for the worst. Yesterday we saw a community meeting in the town of Beaufort, which is about 20 k's from where I am here, and the message to residents is to prepare well and to prepare early. Take a listen to what one of our firefighters had to say.
Back at our brigade, we're just going to focus on the our southern boundary and just keep mopping up in there over the next couple of days, and then Tuesday we'll start to prepare for Wednesday, which at this stage looks like being a bad day. So whether anything happens out of the current fire or there's another one starts up somewhere, we'll be fairly prepared to hook into it pretty quick.
Yeah, Lexi, there is a warning for those high temperatures later this week.
Yeah, we're expecting temperatures in the high 30s in some areas, right up to 45 degrees in Mildura. Melbourne's expecting around 40 degrees, and this will be coupled by really windy conditions. So, as I mentioned before, it's going to create extreme fire danger in many districts and potentially catastrophic. But in the meantime, the message is really clear to communities here in the western part of the state to prepare and really stay across those warnings, because this fire is very volatile and it is a dynamic situation here.
In sports, Brazil clinched the 6th FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup title in Dubai after defeating Italy in the thrilling final showdown. Italy, making the debut in the final, faced the challenge of Brazil, the most successful team in the tournament's history. Despite Italy making an early lead, Brazil's Rodrigo turned the tide with a spectacular hat-trick, sealing victory for his team. The match highlights Brazil's enduring dominance in beach soccer, solidifying their reputation as the sport's ultimate champion. And that wraps up the midday news update. Join us for more at 6 p.m.